Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This episode is about Frederick McKinley Jones. He had the whole joint about putting the refrigerating system into a truck, keeping everything cool. You know what I'm saying? He did a couple of other things, a lot of other things. He perfected that refrigerating thing too. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I did this, right? I don't know. Then I'm thought about it. I know back in the day, I used to blog about this stuff, and then I used to post about this stuff on social media. Then it was this. So I'm like, maybe did it that way. Then I'm like, I probably did. I don't know. What I do know is, as time goes on, sometimes like your interests get piqued again, and you're like, yo, that's, man, yeah. Because it's something new, or it just pops in your head, and it's like, yo, whatever happened? And this is one of them episodes, and I don't take the time, my bad, stain on me, to go back and go, yo, let me look through and see. But I don't think I did. So we're here. That's how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things need to be done twice, sometimes maybe, you know what I mean? Plus there's some people that I should do again because they have had more than one invention that is totally different from an invention that we know of. And it's like, yo, boom. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And I don't feel like I'm doubling though, right? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, speaking of doubling, I saw Rustin. I've been avoiding Rustin for a while. We did a joint on him, you know what I'm saying, and talked about his involvement. And in my mind, I guess I didn't get as deep as I should have, because this movie really breaks it down. I didn't get into all of his antics. I stuck with just what he was about with the civil rights movement. I didn't even talk about the debate with him and not Martin Luther King, him and Malcolm X, which, by the way, is one of the greatest debates. You have two brilliant minds who, the civil rights movement was so all over the place that everybody wanted what they thought was best for black people, and what the nation was bringing and what the civil rights movement with Martin was bringing were two totally different yet same thing. And that was just the whole thing. So when they collided, it was King Kong and Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? This was an Optimus Prime and Megatron. This was, maybe it was Magneto and Professor type of vibes, but they were both on the same level of what they wanted for their people. I don't watch a lot of these movies, and any movie that has to do with the NAACP, I try to stay away from, because even as a kid, I remember three things as a child. In school, I think it was third grade. Again, I went to predominantly black schools. I'm in an area where you have a bunch of historically black colleges around you. You also have colleges that are predominantly black. You have teachers who feel they need to talk to their students to let them know the importance of being black. So when I tell people stuff like, yeah, man, we saw the joint about Brown versus the Board of Education. Sidney Poitier played Thurgood Marshall and all that in third grade. You know what I'm saying? We was learning that kind of stuff in third grade. This was something that was important to us in third grade. And people were like, third grade? I was learning crazy black civil rights stuff. Like we were third grade. And I'm being nice because I want to say second grade, because Mrs. Bond, light-skinned, heavy-set, beautiful black woman who I tell you all the time had the pictures on the wall. You know what I'm saying? The decorative joints with, like had the decorative type joints with the flowers or whatever. She had black faces, names, accomplishments. And it was crazy. And she would always talk that black to us. And I'm thinking, but I don't think it was her. That's also the reason I'm saying it was third grade, because I can remember living in a different area. And so we're watching this joint. You know what I mean? And even then, as a kid, I remember my mom saying, yeah, That was a movie. That was a big deal. And then she said what the big deal was, that the NAACP, and this was rumors. I never took the time to look it up to see if it was confirmed. The rumor was they didn't like the fact that Sidney Poitier played Thurgood Marshall. Now, when you see Thurgood Marshall and you see Sidney Poitier, you definitely see you're never going to confuse these two dudes to look alike. And I was also told as a youngin, before middle school, there has always been a vibe of brown paper bagness with the NAACP. They you know what I'm saying, there's things that would happen, and then they'd, you know what I'm saying, when it got big, that's when they slide through. That's what I used to hear. You know what I'm saying? And it was always excuses about stuff. So I always had that weird tainted vibe about them. Then when you get older and you start reading stuff, and when I say reading stuff, I mean reading like the stuff that the school held the NAACP up like it was like Martin Luther King and the NAACP was like Superman and the Justice League. You know what I'm saying? Hulk Hogan and WWF. This is this, and this is the front man for that. Not knowing back in the day, he had no real participation with that joint at first. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that there were so many other groups out here, but the NAACP had that connection to the government. Like they could talk to the government a lot quicker than everybody else. You know what I mean? They played ball for the most part, was the real thing. They played ball, and that was one of those things that you found out, like, yo, when stuff would get crazy, and then when the news got big, that was when they slid in. Oh, it's important now. We'll step up. And then to see that happen in your lifetime a couple of times on some instances, you're like, oh, they really do be out here wilding like that. Okay. I see. All right. Y'all wild. Okay. So my taste for them has always been, The first thing you realize is they want nothing to do with Rustin. They don't want anything to do with a lot of these type of protests. They weren't down with the March on Washington at first. Completely was like, It took Martin Luther King's popularity to go, I'm down with this, for them to go, okay, I guess we're down with it too. Most popular black leader we got that's not Malcolm X is down, then we gonna be down too. You know what I'm saying? So let's do it. And I just was like, yo, this is crazy. But watching this movie, you realize that, like, yo, this man's life was really more complicated than the stuff that I had read. You know what I mean? Or the stuff I was willing to read. Because I'm pretty sure if I read deeply into it, a lot of the stuff that was jumping off in this movie would have came up. And I'm just like, yo, this is wild. The politics that were being played is wild. Like the stuff that you would see these people do was crazy. Here's a man who sat around and was trying to do something, and he needed those people. He was instrumental in that, and history sometimes wants to erase that. It was more so just because of his sexuality. And I just thought that was wild. Like, that was the piece of the game that we all knew. We all knew that piece of the game. But then to see it in this movie played out that way, we're like, yo, these dudes was really out here like, man, nah, you know who he is, man. Yo, nah, son. I don't know. Dude, should we be riding with son? That, what he was trying to do was so much bigger than all of that, and that was what was keeping them from going on board with him. And it just made me dislike NAACP all over again. Like, I'm not saying I was ever gonna be like, yo, dude, just cool, but I'm just, man. Also, while watching stuff, I came across a show called Supercell. It's on Netflix, and I'm not being paid by anybody. I'm just telling you, this joint, yo, oh my God, this is a very creative joint. I like this one. It has vibes of Hero, back in the day NBC joint, which Hero's is everything. American Horror Show, let me take that back. American Horror Show is everything that Heroes was supposed to be, but they didn't listen to themselves and they let the networks control the narrative. I don't know if people know, but Heroes was supposed to be an anthology where the next season it was a different location, different situation with people who had powers. Maybe some people will cross-pollinate with each other, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. You could, because it was all still part of the same time frame sometimes or whatever. And they kind of did that with certain joints. They brought in newer heroes and did different things, but they still kept a core. They did everything that I guess NBC wanted, and they still kind of did what they wanted, but it was supposed to be that way. It didn't go that way. Now, going back to Supercell. Supercell is a thing where if your peoples had sickle cell, there was this extra gene or something that opened up powers. And people had powers. And I'm saying this because I saw a thing and white people tripping like, oh man, they had to make their own black X-Men and that's crazy, so only the black people got powers. And even if you say the name of the show, Supercell, maybe it's just me, I'm just like, sickle cell? Supercell. Then when you check this out, and one of the first things they say to one of the main characters' parents is, you have sickle cell. Boom. Yeah, there seems to be a black thing because only black people get that. Ta-da! The only time I saw a person that looked white get sickle cell was on an episode of Quincy, which was, again, as a kid who got suspended from school a lot, 6th or 7th grade, A&E used to play Quincy, Columbo, McLeod, some dude and his wife, Rock Hudson joint, the Hudson Files, not Rock Hudson, like Rock Hudson was in the joint with the wife. What's the other one? The Hartford Files, right? The joint with your man from the Maverick and all that. He was in that joint. So I used to just sit there, do little homework stuff, and then watch these shows. And I remember there was an episode where the guy was white, and the daughter had sickle cell, and the wife is like, what? I think that's why they tried to kill him or something. They murdered. No, somebody died because he was trying to hide it. So somebody died because she was trying to hide it, and they were trying to figure out what happened. How did the kid get sickle cell? Come to find out the dude was passing. Crazy. That was the only joint about somebody who at least looked white having it. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? My man, he's trying to catch up with all these people to save his wife. And this is just, and she's doing her own investigation on what's going on, because she's like, yo, this is weird, and I think there's some tie-ins to all of this, and everybody is really tied into each other in certain ways, you know what I'm saying? And one of the main ways is drugs. And it's just like, yo, this is a great show. Looked it up, and they were talking about the season 2 was already ready to go. They're just waiting on Netflix to make that move. Like, yo, son, give us that. Here, tell us, do what you're gonna do. But he's ready. My man is like, yo, the dude name is Rap Man, directed and written by Rap Man. Between Rap Man and little what's his name over there, who do the joint for From, I'm just like, yo, these dudes is out here on something totally different. I like this. I like them, or is it From? Which one is it? Like both of these, there's two joints. From, I forgot which one is them. Them is what I'm thinking about. Them is the one where they showed you the history of Compton, which is a great thing, because to realize that Compton started out as a white suburb. From is the crazy joint where they go up in the town and they can't get out of the town, and there's these ghosts or whatever. Okay, two different shows. Yeah, Supercell is in that lane, and it's like, yo, it's very good. It's very different. It's the kind of thing where you're like, yo, and the effects aren't super trash. And I was just like, yo, this is dope. You know what I mean? Have y'all seen these things? Black dating things, black get downs or whatever. Where's the balloon popping? So there's two of them that I'm aware of. There might be multiples. I know Africa has a version. I know other cities have their own versions. But there's still this thing where a female will walk out and there's a line of dudes, or a dude will walk out, there's a line of females, and they have balloons. When you walk through the door, off of just visual, pop, 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 pop. I didn't know that they did it in age ranges and different things like this. And it's such a wild thing. And it's almost like, I get it, maybe the quote-unquote dating scene is hard, but to stand there and to pop a balloon off a first visual, or to hear a person's name and go, pop. To hear a person speak, pop. To hear what they do. And for females, it's weird because dudes were popping because they're like, that just seems too ambitious. For dudes, some dudes don't even say anything, and they say stuff and it's pop. You know what I mean? Now, the other side of that is a lot of this looks staged, because I've seen some of these people are content creators. So then it kind of just makes you feel like, oh, this really wasn't real. But the thing about it is a wild thing. Then there's the other version where a person is sitting in a white room, and one by one somebody comes out and goes, hey, and it's like, oh yeah, nah, I'm good. That's it. I don't even understand that. Now, I'm saying all of this because I came across a thing today. It was talking about 20 women versus little RT. I don't know if you know who little RT is. Little RT can't be no more than 10. I'm going to give him 11 at best. Who, by the age of 7 and 8, a few years ago, I don't know if y'all heard about him. He was the dude rhyming about the money, stacks of money, and shooting off the guns. And he was the super, and he got a bunch of grown men behind him, gassing him. Dude, grown men have jumped on tracks with him and let him splash that out there. And it's like, yo, this is wild. So this little dude is 20 women versus him. Now, there's also an episode where it's him trying to find a dude for his mom. So it's like that. But the thing about the 20 women versus him is, I was like, this can't be real. Googled it. An image pops up. There's a chick with blonde hair who in my mind looked like a little girl. I was already turned off. Fake fur, real fur, who knows, furry-ish joint, blonde hair. And she's giggling just as much as he's giggling. And I'm thinking, well, maybe she's 12 or 13. And that's what this is. It's probably, okay, it's still degrading and goofy, but at least it's age appropriate. Then I started to dabble a little more, because I just was like, I don't get, why would you say women? That was my whole thing. I'm like, this looks like a little girl, so why would they say women? Kept going. Here's the thing about it. There's clips of it on TikTok. I don't have TikTok. There's clips of it on TikTok that you can pull up through Google, Bing, and all that. Even YouTube had a couple of little small shorts, the shorts. And what I noticed is everybody has their comments turned off. Smart, very smart move to have your comments turned off on these. Saw another one. I only saw two. The joint with the little blonde chick, and then there was one with a darker skinned chick, red hair, and breasts. And this chick sound older, and she's asking, why does he laugh like that? Now, I'm assuming a piece of me wants to go, this is a teenager. This is somebody who's about 15, 16. I'll take 14. I was a kid. I've seen these kids in the summertime when you go to the malls, when you go out shopping or whatever. Every year somebody go, oh man, these girls are getting too big. Look at all it. They always been that way. I told y'all I was in 7th grade with a chick, white girl, who looked like a white woman. She looked like she was a teacher's aide. She was ridiculously, what they call that joint back in the day? The joint, what did they call that joint? Jailbait. Jailbait for real. She was jailbait for real. She was, like, we used to just not even think she should have been in the class. Like, yo, how many times did you fail? You should be in high school, girl. That was her. You know what I mean? But then again, like I said, when you get older and you start going to high school and you put these same people out here on the streets, you can't tell. Like, yo, that's a young 18-year-old, 19-year-old. There's that weird, you can't tell dynamic. But with that being said, dude is super young. You can tell that. And these chicks look super developed. You can tell that. We're in a world now where everything needs to be critiqued, whether it's justified or not. And this one is one of those things that is justified. And everybody's like, yo, who came up with this. It's not about who came up with this. It's about who participated in this. You can come up with all the crazy ideas you want. If people don't participate, trust me, in social media world now and everything, everybody wants to have content. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has an idea. The Paul boys got in trouble for some stuff that they did for a hot minute. Remember, they got in hot water for the content they were trying to put out there. Everybody has some extreme ideas. It's the participation. So you're like, yo, these chicks participated in this. It's about this dude, so of course he's gonna be down. But then you have to think about the mom, and maybe that was the whole thing. Oh yeah, we'll do a thing for you too, but we're gonna do a thing for him because he's the star. We'll figure something out for you. Or they brought it to her, and we're gonna do this for you, and then for him, we'll boom, 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 because he's also in this thing where like there's a line of dudes on one side, a line of chicks on one side, and he's grabbing hands and he's putting them together, and they're like, yeah, I can see us vibing together. Ooh, match. He's making matches. So they got him out here doing things. So at that, with even saying that, you knew at some point they'd go, yo, and then we'll bring these women in to holler at you, and you're just like, yo, who participates in this? And again, like I said, a lot of these aren't exactly just random people. Most of these people are within the content world. You know what I mean? Like a few months ago, a month or so ago or something like that, there was a dude, very swole body dude, who was going in on these chicks. You know what I'm saying? He told about he was a plumber and he did this and he had the cake and he was just shutting these broads down as they were saying stuff to him. The chicks, or chicks who were watching, females, connected with where this man worked at and got him fired from his job. The internet, which is always the greatest I spy group in the world, finds out that this dude used to be a content creator. And one of his things was he was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And he would do stuff. Like I said, and then at some point you just fall back and go, oh, there's no genuine, yo, I'm just here. Everybody is part of something. There are chicks who were like, yo, I'm a content creator. And then there was this time that I was doing this goofy thing to get with this. Oh, make sure y'all check me out. Trying to hit on little boy here. I feel like such a creep. You know what I'm saying? Like, the content, I can't grasp it, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. And it's weird because when you say stuff like that, you get somebody younger going, that's that old head mentality. And you're just like, I don't think that's what that is. But okay. You know what I mean? Like, and for the record, people don't understand. A old head is their way of going, you're out of touch. OG, it's all love. Old head, you're out of touch. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been noticing. When they say old head, they're looking for the haters. They're looking for the negativity. They're looking for the complaints. They're looking for but what they're not understanding is three things. Let me break this part down too. Three things are happening. One, a lot of people don't want to be old heads. A lot of these Kendrick fans, Drake fans, J. Cole fans, Nicki Minaj fans, all of these Lil Wayne fans, they're as the artists, not just them, the artists are closer to 40, if not 40 and over, than they are to 20. You know what I mean? They're on the opposite side of 30. 37s, 38s, 39s, 40. You know what I'm saying? J. Cole said 1985 I arrived. He will be 40 next year. You see what I'm saying? That's the part of the game that I don't think people, and they don't want to be that. So they try to stay relevant with this younger music. And what happens is a lot of times they'll go out of their way to go, I don't know about, and they don't want to be found critiquing because that makes you an old head. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, even with basketball, let's just keep it a buck. When you hear people talk about basketball and they go, and y'all just hating on this era. This is no longer LeBron's era. LeBron is just still playing. This isn't even Curry's era. 10 years ago. That was when a lot of the Cavs and all that joint, yeah, time flies, doesn't it? You know what I'm saying? So when you still screaming Durant, Curry, LeBron, and you're still trying to mesh all of that together, you're overlooking the fact you got the Joker. Giannis isn't even in that conversation too much anymore right now. Embiid is falling out of that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's going to be Luka. It's going to be Towns. It's going to be Anthony. You know what I mean? It's going to be your boy over there in Sacramento. It's going to be your mans out there in OKC. It's going to be Tatum. It's going to be Brown. It's going to be this is that new generation. You know what I'm saying? So when you got dudes still going, like I saw a picture where they had Curry, Durant, and LeBron, and they were like Jordan, Bird, and Magic. And I'm like, you guys are still trying to make it feel like this is their era. Those three are now basically in Bird and Magic's place. You know what I'm saying? They are now the elder ambassadors of the thing. Like, it's no longer their world. Not even Davis. Anthony Davis falls in that lane too. 10 years plus, you're now an elder statesman. You know what I'm saying? So when you go, yo, old heads are going to tell you it's the bottom group with Jordan, Bird. Like, dude, everybody's an old head in this picture. What are you talking about? 10 years in the game? Over 10 years in the game, you're an old head. Stop. We're all in the same lane at this point. Like, your generation versus this generation. Let it go. Those dudes at that time versus the dream team at that time. Yeah, I think I'm going to put my money on a younger Magic, a younger Jordan, a hurt back but younger Bird versus these older players who have lost something at this point in their career. But I'm an old head because I'm going to pick the common sense if that's what you're saying. These guys at that time in their career versus these guys at this time in their career. Yeah, you're going to lose out. Sorry. But that's old head talk. And I say this also, I saw a dude breaking down the music industry. And they were like, man, you just sound like an old head who just still. No. These are dudes who have been here. Like, what you're not understanding is to go, yo, I've seen this game evolve and expand and become different. We've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you are old enough to go, a TikTok rapper is nothing more than a ringtone rapper. We've been there. We've been there. A TikTok rapper is nothing more than a YouTube rapper. We've been there. You know what I'm saying? You know how many other dudes tried to blow up like Soulja Boy? It was just Soulja Boy. That's what makes Soulja Boy stick out. He actually had the talent and the vision. A lot of these dudes are just like, and then I'm gonna make a video and a dance and everybody's gonna follow me, and you did it for a hot second and you can't find these dudes anymore. Guess who's still putting out music, whether it's relevant or not? Guess who still gets interviewed? Soulja Boy. Over 10 years in the game now. Veteran. Old head. That. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you old enough to go, I can put you guys in these. This is reminds me of that. This is, nothing is new. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a point where, yeah, you're going to blow up and then nobody's going to see you anymore. Get your chips now. Invest your chips now. Save your chips now. Do great things with your money. Do the things you want to do, yes. But make sure you are going to still be stable. That's not old head energy. That's understanding the situation. Living. Like I said, this younger generation feels like this is it. Everything before them is irrelevant. Not understanding everything before you is the same. Been through the same thing. You're going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And now these dudes are getting to that point where they're getting older and it's like they don't want to turn that corner. You got to turn that corner. Because if you don't turn that corner, the same way you laughing at that one old dude who's trying his best to keep them braids, and all that is bold, and you see them dudes, and if you notice them, those are old dudes. They go up in there, they get the hair colored back into the color, into the brown and the black, and they get the spray paint and the fake hair. Yeah, you're that dude who's still trying to be young versus let me just cut all this off. Let me just dress age appropriately and be a dope, smooth, mature dude. That's what a lot of these younger brothers who are getting ready to touch 40 are doing. They're trying their best to stay on this side because they don't want to be the old head. Because that's what happens. You start to critique things different because you're older. You look at things different when you have kids. You know what I mean? Like, you like, yo, I ain't let my kid listen to this. What the, whoa. Oh man, you made music like that. I made music like that. And my mama used to be like, whoa. And I thought she was out of touch. I get it, young minds influence. Why? Because we see kids watch the stupid cartoons they watch and do stupid stuff. So you're like, if you listen to this music, you're going to try to do some of this stupid stuff. Now it's detrimental. Now I gotta go, I can't rock with so-and-so right now. I gotta fall back on that right there. That's what happens. We don't, you know what I mean? The concept of old head is just a different everything, man. Anyway, man, I'm done talking about this. I can talk about that all day and find myself walking in a circle. Frederick McKinley Jones, this is this episode. Thank y'all for rocking with me. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys, and was trying to put this stuff on WordPress, the WordPress joint, fast as we can. Like I said, I got to do it manually now, so sometimes when I get the chance to do it, I do it in one big old joint. But yo, for those who listen to me get to me through WordPress, thank y'all for rocking with me. For those who get to me through all of these outlets, by the way, like I see people listening through Podbean or BeanPod or whatever, and podcasters and Stitcher and all of these joints. I haven't been able to get to the YouTube thing, but I know it goes on YouTube. Salute to the people on YouTube. Yeah, man, it's just, yes, thank y'all for rocking, man. Thank y'all for getting down. This is what we do, though. This is Black History, man, and we talk a lot of other stuff, and we get down, and that's time for that next piece. And I'll see y'all later, man. Let's do it. Yes, yes, yes. Yo, first of all, let me tell y'all something. Built for Cuban Links, only Built for Cuban Links 2 came out. That was one of the joints I saw. I always overlook the fact that Ghost is not on this. But still, when you talk about, I saw somebody say, yo, who was the hottest duos to ever do it or not do it? It was the thing, like Nas and AZ, Kiss and Styles, and Ray and Ghost. And I'm gonna tell you now, in each of their primes, come on, man. Won't nobody out here rocking like Ray. Ray and Ghost had a whole nother joint. Then you had Styles and Kiss. And the few times it was just Nas and AZ, that was just a whole nother level, man. That was just a level of greatness. You know what I mean? Speaking of Nas, no, not even speaking of Nas, speaking of hip hop, we gotta stop letting a lot of these people talk about the culture, man. For real. Like, there has to be, like you have to say, like, and I get that they are saying my personal view, but you also have to, like, then specify your joint, man. You're like, you know what I mean? I heard a young brother, and I'm gonna have to find it and repost it or something. I heard a young brother say the best Nas song he ever heard was Oochie, Wally. Stop and think about that. Stop the beat for a minute. Stop and think about that. The best Nas song this dude has ever heard was Oochie, Wally. Bring the beat back. Look, I can go through Nas' whole catalog. You could ask me, give you 50 Nas songs. I will scratch my head all over the place at maybe 40. To the last 10 will be maybe. But I'm gonna tell you what you'll never hear me say. Just out of going, at least, and then there's Oochie, Wally will never be a comment. No. And we're talking about the best? Come on, man. Come on. What are we talking about? Like these young dudes really need to, like, you know what I mean? Be like, yo, this is what I'm into, though, type of joint. Like, I saw another thing where a brother was talking about, how do we do that? How do you categorize that? Like, if Too Short drops something, Snoop drops something, Nas drops something, and these young rappers drop their joint, why are they all in the same, like, why are they all available at the same time? First and foremost, that to go because the culture doesn't grow. You know what I mean? Like, these young artists, and it's not even young artists. I think there's a generation of people who, because of technology, they feel this is it. It gets no better than this. And the crazy part is, for them, they grew up in this era. They grew up with the YouTube. They grew up with the social media, the Facebook and all this. Like by the time they could really do stuff, it was there for them. It was ready, like it was available. So to them, there is no before. Like, our generation grew up when we understood it before, we understood it now, and we were looking forward. That's why we adapt so crazily. Like, we adapt easily. Like, you see 30, 40, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, they adapt easy to everything. You know what I mean? Like, we adapt. Like, oh, that's how you do that? Cool. And navigate and do things. Like, the same cons are dropping off. Guess who's behind those cons? Older people. You know what I mean? There's older dudes. Like, when you on you, like, think about that. When you're on YouTube and you don't pay for the non-commercial joint, such as myself, because I refuse to pay for anything that's free, and those commercials come up, those are older people telling you, yeah, man, and this is all you have to, and they have like this 2-hour seminar to get you to pay some money for something that is completely fraudulent. While the young boys are going, hey man, I got this new software, I pull it and I drag it here and look, I made a beat. See the two different, like, they're still selling a product. Them older dudes are still selling you wink wink get rich dreams. These are, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Amazon pays me to look at ads. There's a whole lot of other stuff to that. That's not really real. You know what I mean? The money you invest in that, you're never going to get that back. But that's a whole nother thing. But what I'm saying is, when you see those people who do that, they're older people. The younger people say stupid stuff like, I just found out the government is out here giving out this much money. Ooh, you best to get yours. We too old to even believe nothing like that. Like, the government ain't giving out nothing except for them phones outside of a Walmart, a Food Lion, a Kroger, a 7-Eleven. Hey, dog, you want a phone? Like, no, I'm good. I got a phone. It's a free phone. Like, why are you trying to give me this phone? Get out of here with that. I don't need that phone. But what I'm saying is, I think, like, these younger dudes really, like, these younger heads don't understand there's a before. We were always taught the respect of before. They're just like, and then when they say the before, it's just like the most Oochie, Wally is a hot song. You're like, yo, for real? And I know y'all have seen this one where they was like one-hit wonders, and the dude pulls up Hey Ya by Outkast, and everybody has to stop him. Like, yo, everybody has something to say about that. Young. Like, my man was genuinely thought that wasn't trolling moment. That wasn't a trolling moment. He genuinely thought that. He was like, yo, I really don't know nothing else about the catalog. Outkast is one of the most consistent groups of the all time. Outkast, Tribe Called Quest, Roots, De La Soul, Gangstar. As far as groups go, Goody Mob. You know what I mean? Ghetto Boys, Public Enemy in their prime. Until they just, you know what I mean? Like, there's no more consistent groups than Outkast is in a rare breed of that. You know what I mean? Come on, Outkast is just phenomenal. And every album is different. What is you talking about? But we ain't here to talk about that. We ain't here to talk about these young dudes and not understanding things. I had a young chick tell me she don't even care about the history of the eyelid things, and you know what I'm saying, what the big lashes mean. I don't care. So what, you know what I mean? It still make me look pretty. I'm like, it really don't. It make you look kind of, it make you look like somebody busting your face and your whole eyelid is swole up. You know what I mean? Y'all be out here looking like drunks. Some of y'all, and then they put the eyeliner under the joint so they just look really bubbly for no reason. Like, yo, look at you out here looking goofy. But anyway, that ain't what we're here to talk about, so I don't want to feel like I'm hating on it. And then it starts going to a place where you start hating on people, like these brothers out here with the I done caught a body on my hairline chalk. Like, yo, son, I don't even know, first of all, stop the beat. Is that the way that the barber is saying I killed it? I left the chalk on the joint, like, yo, son, I killed it. Chalk on his face. And then they have it for days. Like, I'm sorry, are you not watching your face, your hair? Like, how are you still got that? Are you going home and drawing this on yourself at this point? Did they give you a chalk to do this? What's going on? When did barbers start using chalk anyway? Like, I've seen brothers come away with the most crispest, you know what I mean, sharpest joints, old school, steady hands. These dudes is out here drawing lines on your head and then charging you $300 to draw on your head. Like, hold on. What if I just get a regular cut? Like, no, leave the chalk. Would that take 100 off? Like, no, I don't need the chalk, son. What is wrong with you? But anyway, man, let's get back into what we do. Now we can stop the music for the real reason. Take it from the top. We gonna take it from the top like this moment in Black history. My fault, y'all, for talking all long and stuff, but when you be your life, this the moment everybody waiting for. This the moment that y'all be like, you hating on them. Why you be talking the junks about the people, yo? Don't you understand? Them is your people, yo. I hate them people too. You always hating on black people. I'm not hating on black people. I'm criticizing silliness. You know what I mean? Only black people go through that. I don't know, maybe Spanish people go through that in like small circles. Asian people probably go through that in their inner circles. But black people, we go through that, right? Like, you know, white people don't talk. White people talk about white people all day. It's acceptable. Like, we do it. We be out here like, you never know who's listening. It's a room full of other black people. Who else was? Who gonna go? One of y'all feds? But anyway, let's get into what we do. Frederick McKinley Jones. By the way, from out here. He is from out here. 1893, Covington, Kentucky. That's basically over the bridge by downtown out here in Cincinnati. You go downtown, you can walk over to Covington. Like, ooh, Covington. They consider themselves part of Kansas City too. Like when they go, we're in Kansas City. Then they go, Covington, Kentucky. You're like, that ain't even Ohio, son. What are you talking about? What? You just crossed the bridge. We're 5 minutes away from downtown. I hate them, man. But anyway, my man was born May 17th, 1883. I don't know if I said 18. I might have said 19, but I'm trying to let y'all know I meant 18. You know what I'm saying? My man was out here doing his thing. He became a mechanical engineer. In 1912, they moved out there to Minnesota. He worked as a mechanic. Hold on, bring it back. You know what I'm saying? The farm he worked as a mechanic on a farm. The farm was owned by James W. Hill, who was also the owner of the Great Northern Railroad, Jones joint. He was that dude. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing for a minute and he rocked. Then he got into the army. You know what I'm saying? He was part of the World War I in an all-black unit. You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing with mechanical skills. Then he was like, yo, son, we don't even need you to be over here. We need you to stop, put the gun down, son, and get over here with the electricians and start teaching these soldiers how to build and make sure everything's good, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And keep the camp popping and everybody jumping. He I was about to say actually and also at the same time. That sounds British. Well, he did then. He actually helped them do the telegraph joint. Do the bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, son, we was out here rocking back then. But anyway, you know what I mean? He is known around 1938 to be the guy who came up with the portable refrigeration joint, because he was in his truck and he was like, yo, it's hot. How do I do this? Why is it going down like this? You know what I mean? Like, yo, what is up? So he was like, yo, he configured some things, made moves happen. A mobile refrigeration equipment was attached to the trucks. Chilled air was transported inside of the trailers, you know what I'm saying, with a refrigerating tube. That way you can move things around, you know what I mean? Came up with that thermal control model, you know what I mean? That's what we talk about. Controlling, air cooling the joints, you know what I mean? This is how we get down, you know what I'm saying? Now, the Model A was too heavy. Then he developed the Model B. The Model B was smaller and lighter, but not as durable. In 1941, he completed the development of a Model C, which was mounted to the front of the truck. It was compact, light, and withstood road travel vibrations. You know what I'm saying? This is what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? In 1939, he filed for the patent of the A and received the patent in 49. 10 years, like, come on, man. It took that man 10 years to get his joint. He out here tripping on people, B. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? The Unit C was actually even used in the military. He also developed, you know what I'm saying, a portable x-ray machine. See, the people don't even know about this joint. Came away with a snow machine, you know what I'm saying, attached to the skids and the undercarriage in the airplane, you know what I'm saying, for all of that. He also came up with a movie ticket dispenser. This is what we talking about, man. This is what we mean right here. You know what I'm saying? He was the first black man in America to become a member of the American Society of Refrigeration Engineers in 1944. In 1953, you know what I'm saying, he got an award for outstanding achievements, you know what I'm saying, and served as inspiration to the youth. He passed away in the 60s, but in the 70s, in 1977, he was basically inducted into the Minnesota Inventors Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? The National Medal of Technology was given also to him in 1991. This is what we're talking about right here, man. This is what we mean right here. When we do what we do when we talk about black excellence, man. Black history right here. You know what I mean? Word up. So let's get into this joint right here. I might be wrong, I might be right, I might not understand what I'm doing for the night, but I was locked up. Let me tell y'all a story. I was locked up when the RZA dropped that solo album, and we would listen to it on the radio, the mixtapes and all this, and all I ever remembered when this joint dropped was Bobby, 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 did you? I never knew nothing else this brother said. All I remember was Bobby, 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 did you? Funniest thing in the world. I found it to be funny. It was funny to me. It was super funny to me. I just thought it was a funny thing. I just was like, yo, what? And to be honest, I was just like, yo, the RZA. First of all, the RZA is probably. Everybody loves to talk that junk about. I ain't gonna say junk. Everyone loves to talk about how crazy, creative, and a genius Kanye is. Yeah, the RZA is a monster musically. Dr. Dre, matter of fact, Dr. Dre is a monster musically. DJ Quick is a monster musically. Scott Scorch. And I'm saying these names because these are people who can actually play instruments and do so many other things with their music. So I'm not like just dodging these people. Like I'm not just picking certain people. Pharrell, Dilla, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Eric Sermon. There's a lane for these people, and RZA's in that lane right there. And I feel like sometimes we overlook that because RZA doesn't go out here and just do wild stuff. RZA is very humble with the move and, you know, try to get a couple movies here, do a couple of things there. But you know what I mean? But anyway, man, let's get into this music joint. Woo Wednesday. Ooh, we got a little less than 30 minutes. Let's get down and rock what we do. Let's go. Bing me. No more Google for the rest of the year. Bing. Let's go. So what you believe in, heaven or hell? You don't believe in heaven, we living in hell. All the heat that you bring into the street, oh well. I do my thing, homie. Yo, can't you tell the telltale signs of dudes trying to live divine? My homeboy told me 5 days you pray and don't eat swine. I'm just a kid trying to do what he need to. My man did a bit, and then he caught the fever. Make you a believer. I'm talking joint, but yo, I had to keep up, doing what I had to do, see ya, Let me stop playing. Anyway, my time, Wu-Tang Wednesday. Let me tell y'all, man, Wu got joints. I keep saying that joint. There was a time when most of the dudes I knew, the whole goal was to get anything Wu affiliate. You know what I'm saying? Anything Wu affiliated, we was rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? The clothes, the artists, whatever, man. Whatever. If it had Wu was with it. It was some Wu joints. We was there. The games, the video games. Remember the video game? Yeah, son. Yeah. We was there. Please let us never forget the impact that this group had. Not even a group. This entity had on hip-hop. They were a good thing, man. It was a great thing. And I love to always still bring out Wu-Tangers for the children, because Old Dirty was like, yo, you got to be more to this than what they trying to feed us, son. So salute to that. And I'll holler at y'all later. I was about to get up out of here without doing my joint, but they like this. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. I think I messed that up, but my mind's just zoned out, because I was like thinking about 100 other things when the beginning. So it's like, they say you only live once. Said it right, but you only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Hey, man, I'm out here wilding. There's a show called Supercell. It's about some black English dudes, British people who get these superpowers from sickle cell. Man, look, we're going to have to talk about that at some point. Somewhere I'm going to have to speak about this, man. Salute. Y'all be safe out there. Peace. I'll holler at y'all Saturday. You know how we do Universal Soul.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.